Good morning all and welcome to the Daily Ramble Show here on Claret and Booze. My name's Gary and we've got a lot of news. A lot of news for a Thursday. Firstly, I think you've probably all seen this already, but Danny Ings appears to have signed for West Ham as reported by Sky Sports, which is fantastic news. But what does this mean for David Moyes? Is this the last 40 hours of David Moyes? I suspect so, and I'm going to share with you why I think that is the case. I don't think Ings is a Moyes signing. So, anyway, on with the show, and if you enjoy this show, give it a watch. If you enjoy it, please subscribe to our channel Claret and Booze on YouTube. Really helps us a lot. Give the video a like and hit the bell notification icon, and don't forget to leave a comment at the end as well. So on with the show. Danny Ings. Now, we need goals. We have scored an appallingly low amount of goals this year, and every team that gets relegated has trouble scoring goals. Generally, if you don't have trouble scoring goals, you stay up. You know, you might let them in at one end, but you score them at the other end. And I think this is what Danny Ings brings to us. He brings an excellent goals per minute. So as long as he can stay away from injury, I think this could be a cracking signing. He is a proper, natural goal scorer who I wish we'd have got before Aston Villa. You know, he's someone who we can really use. I think he's going to settle in and do a good job for us. I hope he's the first of a couple. I think in reading Antonio's comments this week, he suspects something is changing at the club. In fact, everything you read, something big is happening at the club. Antonio makes a podcast called the Footballers Football Podcast. And he was talking pretty much on behalf of him, and he kept saying, me and Gianluca as well, we've not been doing our job, the club might choose to make changes, etc. So on the one hand, he acknowledges it, but on the other hand, I can't help this is in response to some leaks earlier in the week which suggested that Antonio was being a bit of a problem child. And I don't know what that means, but he's being having a bit of an attitude. But anyway, look, I don't know whether that's right or wrong. And I don't know whether this is just my assumption that he's come out and said something, suggesting that there's going to be a new broom in the striker department. I hope that doesn't mean, in any way that Scamacca is going to find his way down the pecking order. But having said that, look, it's all about goals. It's all about getting points. I don't think that with David Moyes potentially for the chop, if he loses against Everton, and this has been reported all of this week, right, from some very reliable sources, I don't think that if a manager is ready to get the chop, that you would go out and spend 15 million on a striker, and also be rumoured to be getting Danjuma, and also rumoured to be getting Harry Maguire from Man United as well. I don't think you would back a manager you're about to sack, potentially, based on one more game against crappy opposition. I don't think you back a manager with a load of money. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sure it doesn't make sense to you either. Also, what we're seeing behind the scenes is we're seeing Moyes' backroom staff suddenly being whittled down even more. We're seeing Kevin Nolan linked with a move to Portsmouth, to potentially a manager's job at Portsmouth. We're seeing Mark Warburton of Bread fame being linked to a job at Blackpool. Now, I don't know whether Warburton was Moyes' choice in the first place, but nonetheless, he's found himself there, and he is part of Moyes' backroom staff. That would suggest that there's something big happening at the club. Backroom staff leaving. Strikers have been there, our record striker has been, he's talking about West Ham having to do something new. Another little clue as well is that Danny Ings is very close to Sean Dyche, apparently. Sean Dyche is the latest and greatest rumour to be taken over from David Moyes. Earlier in the week, you would have seen a lot of reports about Rafa Benitez because there was they stopped taking bets on Rafa Benitez because there was some big money lumps on him apparently, and what happened was they stopped taking bets. Everyone assumed that Rafa was a done deal. I mean, we all started to try and get our heads around it because, in all honesty, I didn't want Rafa. But I tried to convince myself of the positives of having Rafa versus the negatives of keeping Moyes. Negatives of keeping Moyes are basically, look, he's shot. We're not going to do anything else under Moyes. He's going to get us relegated. So basically, I conditioned myself psychologically to accept pretty much anybody that comes along, and that included Rafa. And I thought, for 6 months, what could he do wrong? What could he do wrong for 6 months? As long as it didn't end up being another, 2 years after that, so he keeps us up and then he gets rewarded with a long contract. My opinion was, let him keep us up, give him a bunch of money, let him ride off into the sunset, and we get somebody new. Now, Sean Dyche, he's very well known and liked by Karen Brady. Sean Dyche is also a person who we've only really seen him at Burnley, using the resources available to him at Burnley. If you listen to the guy talk, he's a bright guy. Apparently the players who work for him absolutely love him. Mind you, the same could be said for Sam Allardyce. And that is the polar opposite to David Moyes. The players don't seem to get close to David Moyes. Right, so, and I think in many cases, especially when you look at the squad we've got, there are players there who need an arm around them, right? They need a bit of a, not every player's the same. You need to treat some firm, tough love, and some of them need an arm around them. It's the same at every football club. But apparently David Moyes doesn't see that. When you look at this Diary of the CEO interview that he was doing, I can't help but believe that the release of that this week, saying, where he openly admitted that he passed up on signing, world class players because he had Mickey Antonio available. It just beggars belief that I don't think that was David Moyes' choice to release it this week. Why would you release it this week? It sounds like that is the club's choice. And what he's basically admitted there is, if you look, this is why, if you tie all these things together that I've discussed today, right? I started off with talking about Antonio and about how Antonio has responded to a leak in the press criticising him. I don't think that leak to the press about Antonio happens from a David Moyes regime, because David Moyes is Mickey this, Mickey that, Mickey everything. He'll play Mickey up front until he's 45, right? So that's why I'm saying there is something afoot. And I hope it is David Moyes has his last game against Everton on Saturday. Win, lose or draw, he's gone. Sean Dyche comes in, load more signings next week, and we stay up. Happy days. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Anyway, look, thank you for listening. I know this has actually been a real proper ramble. I've rambled all over the place. But anyway, if you've enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel, Claret and Booze, on YouTube. Give the video a like, hit the bell notification icon, and give us a comment. I read and respond to all of them. Until next time, see you soon, and come on, you irons.